What's up, Walking Dead family? Brian Castrillo here with another review, this time for Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 8, titled The Door. And this was a very heartbreaking episode. We lost one of our favorites, John Dorie. And before I get started, I really want to send a personal and heartfelt thank you to Garrett Dillahunt, who really brought this character to life. And one of my favorites in the entire Walking Dead universe. You did an amazing job. Thank you for everything you did for the show, for the fans. We are definitely going to miss you. I wish you the best in your career, and everybody needs to go to Netflix on May 21st and check out Army of the Dead. He's going to be in there with an amazing cast. Definitely a movie that I'm going to check out. But yeah, let's get right to it. We see John Dorie at his home in the beginning, and he's going through depression. He has the gun to his head, but he keeps getting interrupted by walkers coming up to his house. And it's almost like the universe was telling him, you know, don't give up. Your wife is still there. You got family out there. He doesn't know it yet, but Morgan's out there as well. And he just keeps getting interrupted, and he keeps shooting him. And of course, John Dorie is probably the best shot in the Walking Dead universe, next to maybe Rick Grimes. Those two are easily the best shots out there. But yeah, so he ends up leaving, and he goes back to the local gas station where he does some fancy gun shooting all these walkers, and he runs into Dakota and Morgan, and he's so excited to see Morgan because he had thought he was dead, because he remembers hearing him on the walkie that night when he got shot and he was done for. But then another ranger came in. He noticed that John Dorie was signing on the video takeout, and he tried telling Ginny that he had found him, but the walkies were out of range, so he had to leave. And so Dakota, after he leaves, Dakota, Morgan, and John Dorie go back to his cabin, and they're talking about what had happened, how they got there. And one of the big keys that they show is that Dakota finds a little piece of metal or marble, but it's part of the knife that was used to kill the other ranger earlier, that led to Janice's death. And this, of course, caused a lot of grief for John Dorie, who was, trying to figure out who did this so he can let Ginny know. Now we're up on the bridge, and interesting parallel with Rick Grimes. You're going to notice that there's a lot of focus on protagonists of the shows, but if you look at the title screen of the episode when Rick Grimes blew up the bridge and he blew up himself, you see the artwork where he's shooting at the walkers on the bridge right before it blows up. Then you look at the title screen for this episode, The Door, and this time it's John Dorie up on a bridge with the walkers, and they're very similar. So they're really invoking the protagonist, Rick Grimes. I thought that was really cool. But now they're up on the bridge, and they're trying to slow move through these walkers with this truck, and Dakota's the one driving, and Morgan's in the back, Dorie's on the front trying to shoot these, and then the car, or the truck rather, gets stuck in some walkers. And one of the coolest deaths was the walker's head and face were all crushed up in the wheel, but this ends up causing some issues with the truck itself, and John Dorie has to get out and try and fix it while walkers are coming out. Amazing tense scene, but eventually they deal with them, and they're out on the bridge, and Dakota is attacked, but she ends up getting away as John was trying to save her, because she takes out this knife and stabs it into the walker's head. And we're looking at this, but she's trying to hide it. But what we find out is this is the same exact knife that she used to kill the ranger, as we find out in a little bit, because she tells Morgan that's what happened, or not Morgan, but John, that's what happened. And he's trying to tell her, she's why did you do that? He's, of course, angry because Janice died when she didn't need to. And so he's asking her, why did you do this? And she tells her that her sister, Ginny, who she seems to be terrified of, but I believe there's more to that story. But she said the ranger found out that she was escaping Lawton and sneaking out and everything, and she didn't want her sister to know, which is why she killed this ranger. And then John's saying maybe this is the reason why, like Morgan said, that I have to live, is I want to be here and help you, Dakota. But Dakota wasn't here she shot John Dorie in the chest and then pushed him over the bridge. And of course Morgan found out about, he found out that she did this, and he was upset, had his spear right up against her throat, but he knew that he couldn't kill her because Ginny has, you know, our family, and he had to keep her as you know, as kind of a bargaining. But what's interesting is we found out that Dakota was the one who saved Morgan way back in episode 1 when the walkers were coming at him after Ginny shot him. And she said she's the one who patched him up and everything, and she even knew what was on that little note that was left for him because she read it. So she definitely had knowledge of the note. Now the scene shifts. Well, actually, before that, Morgan takes the walkie, and this is before John got shot, but Morgan, you know, got on the walkie and told Ginny that they were at his cabin because he didn't want John to shoot himself. As you're going through the episode, you're seeing that he wants to end it, and has a lot of depression. He's talking about killing himself, but Morgan does that. But so Ginny's on her way to his cabin, but back in the scene where John was just pushed over, you know, we see him going down the river, and Morgan's upset. Now the scene shifts back to the cabin, and we see June Dorie, John's wife, over there, and she's there with Madison. A funny scene, you know, well, Morgan, you know, contacts him, and then, you know, June's freaking out because she knows that her husband John was hurt, and she's, you know, screaming at Ginny, telling her, you have to do something, you have to call and get help. And she just grabs it right out of her hand. I was laughing at that. You know, believe in June. But she runs to the side because she sees John's body on the water, and it's moving. But as she gets there, you see that he's a walker, and it's absolutely heartbreaking seeing June's face, and she's the one who has to put him down. But yeah, absolutely heartbreaking episode. We lost John Dorie, one of our favorites. Hope maybe we get to see maybe a flashback of him, because I'm really going to miss Garrett Dillahunt portraying this character. He was absolutely amazing, and again, thank you for everything you brought to the show, Garrett. You are truly going to be missed. And with that being said, I always give a shout out in all my videos. This time is going out to a buddy of mine who I used to work with, Lucas Pinion, who also has 2 of his buddies, and they own a brewery out in Western Maryland, and this is in Williamsport, Maryland to be exact, and it's called Homemade Brewing Company, and that's spelled Homaide Brewing Company. And a little bit about them. Well, they love to have fun with their beers. They got a lot of really cool flavors. You got to check them out, and I of course am going to put their links in my in the description. But if you ever get a chance to go out to Western Maryland, you know, you're going on a trip, you got to check these guys out. Some of the beers there sound absolutely amazing. If you're into craft beers, this might be the place you want to check out. Their most popular beer, from what I understand, is Honey Bunches of Beer, which according to them tastes just like it sounds, and that is definitely going to be something I'm going to check out when I get a chance to go down there. I looked through a bunch of them. There's, you know, bunches of blueberry. There's a lot of great beers to choose from. So if you're into craft beer, or maybe, you know, you want to try some great new flavors, maybe you're more of a traditionalist, or you're a non-beer drinker, they have something for you, and you want to check this out. It looks really good. Definitely go check them out. Again, the description is going to be in the links, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Enjoyed the video. Press a like down there. If you like it, maybe subscribe. And one last thing, P.S. Madison lives. There was a great parallel between there when John fell in the water, and you see, you know, the image of him in the water, and then you go back to Season 3, Episode 5, Burning in the Water, Drowning in the Flames, when Madison fell after the dam bridge. I do believe they are invoking a lot of the protagonists. That's why I mentioned Rick Grimes in the beginning when you're looking at the title screens. And Madison as well. I do believe we're going to see her. Madison lives. But again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. go check out my buddies out at Homemade Brewing Company. You won't be disappointed. Amazing beers. I got to check it out myself. Make a trip. Thank you. Press like if you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you thought. And again, we got another episode tonight, and it's going to be just as crazy. This season 6 of Fear the Walking Dead has been absolutely amazing. Let's get to it tonight. Thank you.